Let's go to the Comcast Business Hotline. You know, every day in business is a big day. Comcast Business gets you ready for what's next. And my friends at Landis Block and Concrete, who helped us create our own jaw-dropping backyard paradise, bring you Adam Schefter every week. You can find them online at landisbc.com. And as Adam joins us, first to go, Adam, everybody in the NFL just still dumbfounded by what went down on Monday night. And I'd love to have you take us through your night Monday night and what went on and reporting on it and talking about it.
Well, John, it was a surreal night, and I remember talking to one of my friends on the way into the city, and I said to him, I said, this day feels really weird to me. I know everybody's excited about this big matchup to finish out the season, and fantasy championships are on the line. It's the Bengals and the Bills, and it just felt weird. It was a weekday, but it was a holiday. It was on to the big Monday night game, yet we're talking about the schedule being reconfigured for Week 18 and ABC and ESPN having 2 Saturday games, and there are bowl games. It was gray and rain. The day had a weird, and I said it that day. I had less excitement for that game for whatever reason than I did for any Monday night. It just didn't feel real to me, the whole thing, all along. And we went and did, the pregame show was on ESPN2 for an hour, and then it was on ABC for 15 minutes.
It was disjointed.
What's that?
It was very disjointed. Like your whole day was disjointed.
Right. And I think everybody in life kind of likes their structure, routine. Everything was just weird, right, about it. And so we went into the show. Game starts. Booger McFarland and I go next door into what they call the green room. We're having dinner, and we finish our dinner. And I mean, literally, took our last bite, and that play happened. It was just, you're like, that didn't look. Oh, that really didn't. This is bad. This is really bad. This is scary. This is chilling. We walked back into the studio because we're always the backups whenever there's any kind of delay with weather or whatever it is. We were in Los Angeles last year. There was a lightning delay for 20 minutes. They don't go to the broadcast. Let's go onto the field. Booger McFarland and Adam Schefter and Susie Culver standing by. And now we got to just fill for 20 minutes, during the lightning delay last year. So this one was, let's be honest, it was uncomfortable. It was unsettling. It was scary. It was sickening. Like, you're watching this guy, and everybody could see the gravity of the situation. There's an ambulance on the field. And, what was interesting is I sit on there, I go, you don't see an ambulance for this. This is like almost unprecedented. And all of a sudden I start getting texts from people. And they're like, you do remember Chuck Hughes in 1971? Yeah, I do. He died on the football field. You do remember Reggie Brown and Dennis Byrd? Of course I do. I remember that. And so in that way, this was not unprecedented. But what I would say to that is this. It's 2023. It's the day and age of social media. This game was on prime time. This game was on ABC and ESPN. This game was being watched by everybody home for the holidays, finishing up their holiday weekend. And so, yes, there have been other tragic, horrifying, horrific circumstances surrounding other NFL players. And Damar Hamlin was not the first one. But the gravity of the moment made us feel incredibly unique and incredibly scary and unsettling.
There were reports that the NFL was forcing the teams to do a 5-minute warm-up and then come back and play this game. I've heard nobody from either organization back up those reports. I've heard neither head coach back up those reports. Can you tell us if there's any validity to those reports?
Well, what I would say is this. I stand behind John Parry. John Parry mentioned it on air on the telecast. John Parry was told that the game would resume in 5 minutes. Now, let me say this also, that that's sort of standard operating procedure for any kind of game when there's something wrong. If there's a little delay, let's give the guys 5 minutes to warm up. So that's the kind of thing that's been in place in the past. This was different. And everybody was adjusting on the fly. Nobody's at fault here. I guarantee you I know there was at least one person that said that to him. Okay? So what? So they did. Because they thought, okay, well, this is the way we've done it. But this is a different circumstance. And it didn't take long for people to recognize that. Okay? Joe Burrow was on the sideline warming up, throwing passes during that time. Somebody told him something. Well, he thought the game was going to resume. And then you recognize the gravity of the moment, the severity, the ambulance coming onto the field. They're trying to resuscitate Damar Hamlin. Like, people are allowed to evolve during that time. Like, by the way, same thing us watching. Like, oh, that didn't look good. Oh, he's hurt. Oh, he's really hurt. Holy crap! I hope this guy is okay. Oh, I hope he lives. I hope he lives. That was not my first reaction when he took that hit, right?
Yep.
So what is the big deal on this? I don't get it. Like, somebody said it, and somebody didn't realize. That's all. And then, as you see what's unfolding, it doesn't take long to recognize the gravity of that moment and to adjust from there.
Right, and now's not really the time to dive into it anyway. I agree with you, Schefter. The one thing I want to ask you, we all go around as sports fans and human beings and talk yesterday, and we talk about how horrible of a situation it was. Mm-hmm. And then the next part of the conversation comes, and it's not being cold, it's just reality. What does the NFL do from here?
Yeah.
Like, what happens now? If I put Adam Schefter, and this is what we all did yesterday. I was at a basketball game last night with a bunch of friends, and we're all talking about, my God, what happens now? With the obvious point being, we hope to God Damar Hamlin gets better. But if you're the commissioner, how do you move forward on this, Schefty?
Well, I think you move forward the way the league did yesterday, and I think what you did with the way they did, Commissioner Goodell sent out a memo to all club executives and coaches, and it said basically that they are not resuming the Bills-Bengals game this week, and that the rest of the Week 18 schedule will go on for now. So what that tells me, reading between the lines, is this, that they're moving forward. I was on the phone yesterday with somebody, and they're like, that game has bad mojo. We just got to move forward. And, it'd be bad mojo to play it. And so, look, again, and it is tied to Damar Hamlin because you got to make sure he's okay. Like that trumps everything.
Right.
Okay, and let's hope that he is. And if he is, then this week's games go on. And then if this week's games go on and they play, I'm sure they're talking about other scenarios. But I do believe one of the scenarios is, you know what? That's life.
Yep.
Like we're just gonna keep moving forward, and that game gets deleted. And sorry to the Baltimore Ravens who can't win the AFC North. Sorry to the Buffalo Bills who could have won those two games and gotten home. Sorry to everybody. Guess what? You had 16 weeks to do your business, and it didn't get done. And this is the way it's going to be for the playoffs. You got a chance to. Now, maybe I'm oversimplifying it. Maybe I am. I think we see how unfair life can be. And so football is life in many ways, right? So if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. That's the most simplistic way. Could they, maneuver it around and come up with – sure, they could do that. I mean, they could do that, and maybe they will. But the league has just been steadfast in saying right now, like, their biggest concern, and as it should be, is with Damar Hamlin and making sure that he's okay.
All right, the most important thing locally now to us, though, as Eagle fans, is are you confident Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback on Sunday from your reporting?
Yes, I am. I do think he'll be out there. I said that on Sunday. I felt like he was going to be out there no matter what. And so, yeah, I believe he will be out there. Yes.
Schefty, quick follow-up to that. Was he medically cleared to play on Sunday? This past Sunday?
I don't know the answer to that only because of this. They weren't going to play him, like whether he was cleared or not. Like, so my guess is I don't know. I don't have an answer. He wasn't going to play. He wasn't going to play. And I'll go back and I will say this. I think that all along as they discussed this injury, and we'll probably learn more about the injury over time as we often do with a lot of these injuries. But my guess is that they always thought, you know what, we need to take care of our business in these 2 weeks. Let's find a way to beat Dallas. Let's find a way to beat New Orleans. Let's see how the rest of the scenario plays out. And I think that they hoped that they wouldn't have to head into Week 18 needing to win the game to wrap up everything. That in those 2 weeks prior to this, that somehow, some way, one of the ways it would break their way, that they would lock up the number 1 seed, and that would be it. And it didn't happen that way.
Brian Dable says the Giants are going to do what's best for the Giants. Do you believe that's going to be resting their starters?
Well, what I believe is that Saquon Barkley's been banged up this year. Leonard Williams had a neck injury. Azeez Ojulari, has had some injury issues. If there are guys that have injury questions and issues, either they're not playing or they're playing reduced amounts. So when he says the Giants are going to do what's best for the Giants, they don't have a bye. They're playing the next week. They're in, and their focus, as it should be on the wild card round. Now, we've seen the Giants against the Patriots in 2007 have things wrapped up with Tom Coughlin as they go and just play all out. I don't suspect they'll do that. Like, I think they'll try to win the game, of course. But this is Philadelphia's game. This is Philadelphia's game. And this is the week I think Jalen comes back. They respond. They play better. If they don't play better, I'd be really surprised and disappointed and worried going into the postseason.
Looking forward to a big weekend, and thanks for giving us a little clarity about that. So we're looking forward to it, and hopefully talking about a 2-week bye, where they get that 2 weeks to just rest up and get ready to go.
That's what I think. That's what I think will happen. Like I said, I think those are the 3 words I use, and surprised, disappointed, and worried if it doesn't happen.
Good job. Thanks, Adam.
Interim prayers to Damar Hamlin. Hope he's okay, and we'll be in touch next week, man. Good luck Sunday.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Shefty.
We'll talk.